welcome back to Alphablocked. Between episodes, I did a whole bunch more AFK melee combat training with my fancy dragon sword. Made things significantly quicker to get to level 60 in all the melee stats and hit points. So that is a good baseline for any combat we need to do, along with the 42 range and prayer we already have. This round, we're going to be unlocking some more skilling training methods. Well, unlocking entire skills, technically. I'm going to start pretty much as many quests as we can. It's the worst way to do quests, but we're kind of limited in basically all regards. We're going to start by starting a quest that gives us an item. And that quest is Rune Mysteries. By starting the quest, immediately by starting the quest, Rune Mysteries, we get the Air Talisman. There's a lot of quests that we can start that don't give you an item immediately, and we're going to do so. It's going to be a disaster. But I am slowly working through all the quests, trying to map out every item and what order you need the items. It's extra difficult because some quests allow you to do multiple steps at the same time. But overall, we should be able to manage. And one rule related to quests, well, two rules I guess, it's just to deal with how it's going to work. If there's an instance where you get two different items, you have to have prepared to get one of the items, and then the next one is automatically locked in. There's a few quests which are going to be slightly problematic with the amount of different items all handed to you at the same time. But that's just a problem we're going to have to face when we get there. For the most part, you can anticipate what's going to happen to match it up with all this letter thing that we're doing. And we're level 71 combat now, so I fear not the Dark Wizards. Not that it would have mattered much anyways, because we have 41 magic defense. Void Knight top, coming in clutch. And we're going to... I'll talk about a few more things. I think one of the quests that is going to be ultimately the biggest problem, of at least the ones that I've thought about, there's probably going to be a never-ending list of issues with this whole idea. And that's kind of the point. What is it here? Eyes of Glothry? Yeah, Eyes of Glothry. The little colorful disc puzzle where you get a whole bunch of items, convert them into different items, put them in the thing. That's going to be a disaster. All things considered, that might end up being one of the last quests we finish. Unless it's required for other quests. That's another problem. Quests that require other quests, and those quests require items. It's a whole thing here. But we're gonna give it a shot. And my bank pin. There we go. So as far as money is concerned, where we have 17,000 coins. I'm looking at the order of things we're working on. That should be enough for now. But of course we have 40 Grimy Ranars, which realistically we can just sell them now. We don't need them for anything. Just to give us a better idea of where we're actually situated. 266k. That should get us pretty far. That should be good. Another thing that we're going to be working on is unlocking more money-making methods. We have just so many things that need to be taken care of. We need quests, we need gear, we need other things on the side. It's going to be... You understand, this is a mess. But anyways, next up, starting with the letter B, useful in a quest, it's the blue dye. And we have plenty of money so we can overshoot and just get the items instantly without messing around. Blue dye. Very useful in goblin diplomacy. That's why we got the orange dye, and now we have the other one. Very good. Next up, I want all but 2. Thank you. Is there any men here? Probably not. Let's go back to Lumbridge. Doesn't matter. Ah, 24 minutes. When did I... Yeah, I just did that. Crud. Okay. I'm sure there's a man somewhere in Varrock. We will manage. We will manage with this. I know there's plenty of guards. There's even a warrior woman. I'm thinking possibly at the pub, or somewhere in this general southern area. Should be a man. I recall thieving from a whole bunch of men in Varrock, but that was in RuneScape Classic, so that might not be relevant information anymore. And this was in RuneScape Classic, but later. Technically, I played RuneScape Classic for like 1 day, and then I lost the game again or something. I'm not sure. I'm not exactly sure, but started actually playing later in 2004. So, all right, here we go. Item C, coin pouch, and we can open it for coins. And that means we have unlocked the thieving skill. Well, the pickpocketing portions at least. And by the pickpocketing portions, I mean only some of the pickpocketing. So from men and women, technically we could do farmers and then just have to drop the potato seeds, but I'm gonna at least try to not get items I'm not supposed to have. That's why we don't do a lot of things like random events, because we can get a whole bunch of extra items that we haven't unlocked yet. So the next thing we could pickpocket would be warriors, and then guards and knights. Watchmen maybe. But we probably don't need too high of a thieving level, but we have the technology now, so I'm going to get at least a few levels in thieving off these random people. Possibly in this house here. That looks like a good spot. Let's get stealing. It's not going to be good money, but it's a start. If you were ever wondering how much GP you get from thieving from men until level 25 thieving, we have the answer now. 2,943. Yay! I'm starting another quest. You want some ball? It's gonna be a while. Because the first step in this quest, Witch's House, involves getting inside the said house. And to do so, we just need to look under a potted plant and get ourselves door key. We can now go inside here. And not much else. There's a lot of things we still need if we want to continue Witch's House. But at least we can get inside. Next, another quest we will start. And this one, we actually have plans for when we're going to complete it. Talk to Cake Mix. I'm in search of a quest. I will try. And then we just need to go to Talk to Sanfew. This is why we brought the raw chicken. I think that's probably pretty obvious, because I told everybody what we're doing with the raw chicken earlier. It's all to do druidic ritual. Now we just need to talk to Sanfew. And we should be able to dunk these all in one at a time. Sanfew. We need to do the thing. Where I can find the cauldron. I know where it is. This isn't my first rodeo. We have raw chicken. And that's the only raw thing we have yet. It is an entire process of all sorts of raw ingredients. But we'll get there in the end. Raw chicken. Cauldron of Thunder. Suits of armor that are not any problem whatsoever. Bam. Enchanted chicken. 1 out of 4 to unlocking the Herblore skill. Very good. And we will keep it on the chicken theme with our next item. Here's an interesting first. Coin pouches can't be banked. So that means we're going to be missing one of the items in our bank. Unfortunate. But that's okay. We've got a door key and an enchanted chicken. So I think it's alright. As I said, we are continuing on the chicken-related items. Starting with F. Good letter. F. Feathers. Just the regular ones. These will be useful in at least a few quests. Well, at least one. So, it's worth having eventually. Also, good for fishing later. But for the time being, we don't actually have the fly fishing rod, so we're just gonna buy one, and that'll be good for now. Moving swiftly on to another quest, starting with the letter G. It's Goblin Mail. We could just go pick these up and pick up all 3 and save ourselves some money, but I'm not too concerned. Eventually, we're going to need all 3. I mean, technically I could have picked up 1, gotten the other 2 over there, but I need 2 before I even head to start the quest anyway, so. Goblin Mails. That's taken care of. Further down the line of that quest series with goblins and stuff, we're going to need a full set of ham robes. So that is a lot of things that start with H. So we might as well get started from the start. Now, I was going to take the ham shirt. I could pick a different piece that we don't already have. I want to make sure that's actually required for the first quest, though. I mean, it'll be fine. We'll just take whatever. I want... What do you think? Ham cloak? Not too many capes that I'd really want to spend a letter on, so we'll start with a ham cloak. Why not? Hey. Now, does this give any stats? Is the next question. Even a +1 would be acceptable right now. Hey, look at that. Slash, crush, and range defense. That is our new best in slot. We are looking like a champion. Representing the Ham organization, the Void Knights, and Zamorak. That is a whole thing. And now, we will unlock another skill. I'm getting an iron axe. With this bad boy, we'll be able to train woodcutting on regular logs. Is that something that I really want to do? Maybe not. How much are logs worth? 228? Well, I'll at least get to level 15. And then we will see if we're going to bother unlocking the other logs anytime soon. Oak is a possibility. That's at least still useful for other things. And I'm pretty sure that Anakra's Lament requires up to at least willow logs. And then there's a maple log requirement in another quest. So we have opportunities later down the line to unlock all sorts of logs. One thing I'm probably not going to be doing is unlocking too many other axes. Eventually, we can just skip straight to the dragon axe, I think. It's only 38k. And we would only need to get level 61 woodcutting with an iron axe. That's not the worst thing that anyone's ever done in a silly challenge series. I think we can manage. And that'll save me a whole bunch of more slots to get other things that I might want. Or maybe we won't do that. I don't know. It'll have to wait and see. One option, I suppose, would be to get an adamant axe sooner. Because the R category is really full of things. Like, just so full. We need everything that's raw. We need ropes. What else we got on the list? Rakes. The research package. That's eventually useful for rune mysteries. We've got a lot of stuff in here. So, R is a little bit crowded right now, which is why we bought Zamorak plate legs instead of trying to wait till rune. One, there's more space in Z, and two, rune is probably not a thing that's happening soon. But first, we got more letters to deal with. That is up to I. So the next item we need is going to start with the letter J. It's going to be a bit of a trek. Probably don't need all the salmon, but you can never be too careful. Let's go get a thing that starts with J. Decided to get 15 woodcutting on the way over here. Let's see how many logs that was. I think we had a handful that we picked up off the ground in Lumbridge, so. Still. She averaged 38. Not great. We definitely want to unlock a better tree before we go for a very high level of woodcutting. But now, back to getting that item that starts with a J. Does this count as a boss fight? I don't think so. We're down here in the Taverley dungeon, way to the south in the Black Knights little area. Killing a jailer. Because he has a drop we want. It's the jail key. Starts with a J. Exactly what we're looking for. Now, typically, you would talk to Velrac the Explorer here. Give him the Dusty Key. Get the Dusty Key from him, rather. We're not going to do that, because that doesn't start with the letter K. So, we took the jail key, and now we're leaving. I'm sure he'll appreciate that. Technically, we don't need this, or the Dusty Key. And we'll probably have the agility level soon enough anyways, but eh. When I was looking through the stuff that started with J, there wasn't too many pressing concerns. So, this is what we're going with. I don't need to walk out of here, just for dramatic effect. Next up, another key. This one is actually useful for quests, and not technically... Is this red chest? Do we have to start the quest first? We might need to start the quest first. I'm not sure. Maybe we need to check its... Okay. I'm pretty sure that's the right chest, though. If we can't grab this key, I'm going to have to find a different key. I'm going to try to open the door, see it's locked. Maybe that'll let me get the key. Is that guy even in here yet? Yeah, he's there. Glory. Okay. Well, let's just be sure. It's the one that looks different, right? Nothing of interest. Nothing of interest is different than nothing. So we might not actually be able to grab this key. Okay. When I was looking through the list of things that start with K, this was one of the things that jumped out to me. So, all right, let's do a little bit more research, I suppose. See what we need to do here. Okay, we should still be able to get this key. It's just going to require a little bit of extra work. To move this along a little bit, we're going to start Tree Gnome Village, which will allow us quick access through the maze. Because that's just always good. It's not too often you get a reward for just starting a quest. But here we go. Fantastic. Now we just need to start Waterfall Quest. And throw ourselves off said waterfall. And here we are. Starting Waterfall Quest. Typically, you wouldn't do what we're about to do. But we can do it. And so we shall. Maybe. There's a chance. I think, actually, the more I think about it, we might need a book. We're going to try. Either way, we're completing the parts that we can complete. Yeah. It's talking about needing to find the treasure. Yeah. We fell off a waterfall. We washed up downstream. Yeah, I think we need the book for this. Yeah, it's in the building. That's probably going to be what's required to progress here. Let me see what the book's called, and then we're going to go try to pick up the key, but it's probably not actually going to work, unfortunately. Yep. Here it is on the wiki. You must open the book titled Book on Backstorian, or the key will not appear for the next part. So that's unfortunate. I need to go back into the list of things that start with K and pick something else, I guess. Well, fun. How fun. Okay. Different quest. Different plan. We are starting Fight Arena. We're going to be starting a lot of quests. It's going to be a whole thing here. But now that we've started Fight Arena, we should be able to come over here and grab ourselves the Khazard armor. Which building is this in? There it is. This chest? I think it's this chest. This does put us into our first situation. The quest gave us 2 items at the same time. So we get to choose which one of these do we want right now And which of these gets to wait until next round, where it is automatically unlocked? The Khazard helmet gives some defense and is best in slot for all combat styles. The armor is terrible. Like, no, why would I choose the armor? We're going with the Khazard helmet. That's the correct choice here. And that means we are locked in to the Khazard armor for next round's K item. Or at least we're getting things that actually matter, instead of picking some useless thing that starts with a K. At least this is progress. And the next item is even more progress. It's going to be fantastic. I am so glad to be getting this next item. This is going to solve a lot of problems. Starting with the letter L, we're getting law runes. Oh my goodness. Let's get like 100 of these. We spent a lot of time teleporting back to the Grand Exchange by walking from Lumbridge and traveling to other locations in equally ridiculously slow methods. So now, we have the technology to teleport to Falador and Varrock. Not Lumbridge, we don't have any Earth runes, because our E's are very locked in for now, but I can deal with that. But I really would like to get Camelot. Ardoin and Watchtower and Trollheim are all locked for later. So what we need right now is to train our magic a bit. And we got plenty of money to do that. And we got our new... Let's make sure none of these give negative mage bonuses. Yeah, look at that. Oh, actually, technically we have the Zeriction. So let's grab that out of the bank. Oh yeah. This is the mage setup of champions right here. Let's see. We have 42 magic. And we want to get at least 45. But since we're going to be venturing forth to train magic, we might as well aim a little bit higher. Spoilers for later in the episode. Let's get 55. And by let's get 55, I mean, how many runes are we going to need for this? We're doing fire strikes. It's going to be... 55 is a lot more than 42. And worst case scenario, we can actually just teleport back to Varrock. Oh, it's so liberating. What do you think, like 3,000 casts? We have money. We now have teleportation options. This is great. I love this. We're having a good time. Let's buy some air runes. Just a casual 6,000 air runes. Yep. Fantastic. And I think we're just going to go to sand crabs. Yep. That'll work. Look at our defenses. This is great. Everything's going fantastic. Well, I have run out of mind runes. And we're on level 50 magic. So I guess I have to go all the way to the Grand Exchange to get some more. Oh, it's so nice being able to teleport. Doesn't make getting back that much easier, but still, pretty good. I think we got like 3,000 last time. So, I think maybe 4,000 casts should be enough. And if we have extra runes left over, we can just train some more magic later. We're still gunning for 55. And we got plenty of money. And we have ideas in the works for getting more. So it should be good. That's a little pricey. That's okay. It's worth it. I don't know exactly what we're going to be alking, but the option's there. Back to sand crabs. And there is 55 magic. A good place to stop. For now. Eventually, we're going to want to get 60 for Mage Arena, 75 for Tridents, stuff like that. But for the time being, 55 is good enough. With that out of the way, we can now move on to our next item. We just got L for Law Runes. So the next item, surprisingly, starts with M. And here it is. Mark of Grace. Now we have no reason not to get our agility level nice and high. I really would like to have significantly quicker run regeneration. So I think we're going to get this pretty high right now. Unfortunately, we can't go to Canifis yet. So we're going to have to skip the best place to get Marks of Grace. Which ultimately doesn't matter too much, because we can't really get Graceful yet. I'll have to look through the list of things to see if there's anything more important that starts with G. But any way that goes, there's 6 different pieces of Graceful. Still useful though. Between the less weight and the partial bonus that each piece gives now, that should be worth getting at some point. So I'm going to train agility without any worries. 30 agility. Just gonna finish this lap, and then we are off to Varrock, where we are going to be staying until level 50, unfortunately. We have 10 Marks of Grace so far. That's not many, but can't really expect a lot when we're only level 30 so far. Not a problem, either way. And to get to Varrock, we're teleporting again, because we can. Because that's just a good time. But we have to wear the staff. Ta-da! And now we're going to put the staff away because it weighs weight. That's going to slow us down when we're trying to do agility. For 20 more levels. Back to it. With this, we are done with the Varrock rooftop. 50 agility. We can go to Falador. And also, we no longer get Marks of Grace here. For what that's worth. We're up to 93. So that's pretty good. Gonna go to Falador. And then after that, should be done with agility for a little bit. But all these agility levels are going to be very worth it. Especially for other things coming up later. Level 60 agility achieved. Up to 187 Marks of Grace. So that is going to be enough to buy a couple graceful pieces if we decide to do that. Another level 60 skill up in this corner. And that's going to be much, much better run energy restoration. And enough for the next thing that we're going to do with agility. But that's not quite yet. before we move on to unlocking some more items, there's a few things I want to do. And the first of those is fire making. We have this skill unlocked. We've got logs. We got a tinderbox. No reason for it should be at level 2 still. So let's get this to a higher level. Nice and quick. Here is 15 fire making. I'm thinking we're probably going to be unlocking oak logs, so we're gonna keep it there for now. And we got plenty of regular logs here too, so might use those for more fire making or fletching or selling, who knows. Oh wow, look at that bank value. I guess they're taking the marks of grace as trading them in for amylase packs. My goodness. That has made our bank 5 times what it was before. Okay. Good to know. Anyways. Next up, I want to go start a whole bunch of quests. Just to get to the point where we could unlock more items, or generally wherever we get stuck. So, we're gonna work our way through this list, starting a whole bunch of quests and not finishing any of them, probably. It's gonna be a whole thing. Away we go. Starting off our quest starting spree, Goblin Diplomacy. They want me to bring orange armor, which we are in the process of getting done. We've got the orange, we've got the armor. Soon. There's going to be some interesting things, like quests that we can start without any of the levels required, which is kind of awkward. Quests that we can't start, because if we started them, it would give us an item. Chief among those is Doric's quest, which it seems like if you start without having all the ores, he gives you a pickaxe. From what I've been able to see, if I have all the ores, he won't give me a pickaxe. So we can't start this quest right now, even though it's incredibly easy quest. There's lots to do. So let's get it. Witch's Potion is another instance of needing to start the quest to be able to even get one of the items. In this case, it is the Rat's Tail. Prior to this moment, no matter how many rats we killed, we would never be able to get the tail. And now, we can just walk over here, bash a rat, and there it is. We can't pick it up, at least not right now. But now we have the ability to get one. Hooray! We managed to solve one of the 3 potential sources of the curse in the Corsair Curse. But the other 2, of course, require items. It's more progress than we've made in most of our quests so far. But we are not done yet. Ernest the Chicken is an example of a quest where there's multiple things you can do at the same time. And also one where you could have picked up the things before even starting. We could take that fish food whenever we wanted. Likewise for the poison. Whether we could get the poisoned fish food before starting the quest is another question entirely, but no longer my problem. Also right now, we could go do the maze to get the oil can, bring a spade over to the compost heap. Literal piles of options here. And then, when you get all the different parts done, you just finish the quest. It's literally that easy. There's going to be more complicated versions of this in other quests, where you got entire large branches of the quest you can do in any order, which very much complicates this whole you have to unlock the things thing I'm doing. That's part of this. That's part of the challenge here, of course. Another incredibly simple quest, Imp Catcher. Literally, we wait until we have all 4 beads, and then we come back here and finish the quest. There's not much more to say about Imp Catcher. Cook's Assistant allow us to skip a few steps by just buying things. Mainly an empty bucket, just called bucket, and the wheat. We're probably going to need these things in later quests, but if we can finish Cook's Assistant before we get those unlocked, that's fine too. All tradable, nothing complicated. 2 more quests that we could start right now, but we can't because of how the things are the way that we're doing them. Sheep Shearer would give us shears if we don't have all the balls of wool. Or maybe even if we do. It seems like there's been small amounts of changes for the early game experience there. So until we have the balls of wool, we won't be doing Sheep Shearer. Also, X marks the spot, sets you off in a treasure trail by giving you a treasure scroll right at the beginning. We're not on T, so that means we can't start that right now. There's still plenty of other quests we can start, though. Mythal and Mystery has pretty much the most items of any free-to-play quest, surprisingly. Makes a bit of sense, what with all the different keys and such. And all the different notes, and there's just generally a lot of pieces. Pretty much all in a very linear fashion. The first of the items that you need is this bucket to get the water out of this barrel of rainwater. But we haven't unlocked buckets, so we're leaving. For Demon Slayer, we could go get 2 of the 3 keys right now. 1 from just going up and talking to the captain. The other one for handing in bones, which we have. The third one's a problem, though. We need a bucket of water. And then when we use it, it's a bucket. So we need both. I'm sensing a pattern here. Lots of things in buckets in free-to-play. Our total contribution to the Romeo and Juliet quest is talking to Romeo and say we're going to take care of it. But we're not. Because taking care of it involves the next step, talking to Juliet, and then they give me a letter. But we now have the possibility of talking to Juliet whenever we want to get said letter. And that's what this whole starting all the quests things is all about. There's also not much we can do in Shield of Arav. We started the quest, and to progress, we need to pick up that book right there. The book's name is Book. There's a few instances of this kind of thing. There's like 7 keys called Key. It's a whole thing. You won't get too far into the Restless Ghost before you get the Ghost Speak Amulet. Or, more accurately, Amulet of Ghost Speak. That's a very useful item used in a lot of quests. But not yet. Prince Sally Rescue is another one of those where you need a whole bunch of different stuff all at the same time. There's a few different paths we could go here. We've got the wig path, the skin paste path, the key path. There's a lot going on here when you're trying to do it this way. Typically, it's actually very easy. We're making things difficult for ourselves. That's kind of the point. Pirate's Treasure. Yep, Pirate's Treasure. We need to get the rum, put it in a banana crate, We have neither of those items. And we're going to need both of them before we can continue to the next step. That's probably going to end up with us either having bananas but not having the rum, or having the rum and not having the bananas. Whenever these come up on my priority list. But that's not the end of the quest, of course. We also won't be making much progress with Vampire Slayer. We have the hammer, so that's one of the things. But we still need other items. And other items to get other items. It's a whole process. But that should be the last free-to-play quest that we have to start. So, we can't start Black Knight's Fortress because of the quest points. Doric's quest would give us a bronze pickaxe. Dragon Slayer we obviously can't start. The Knight's Sword we need 10 mining. Or maybe we just need to complete it. I'm not entirely sure. We could try. But take a look at the Knight's Sword. Yeah. In the list that I found, it didn't say we could start the Knight's Sword, I don't think. But either way, we wouldn't be able to get very far. Sheep Shearer would probably give us shears. And next marks the spot would give us a treasure scroll. So we're just over here, starting the majority of the free-to-play quests all at the same time. And now we need to do a little bit more investigation on the members quests we can start. I've been slowly working through mapping all the different items for all the different quests. We are currently in the E's, so there's still a lot. This is the slowest way to do quests, by far. Turns out, we can start the Knight's Sword. We can't complete it. That's something. If we end up getting further into this quest before we have 10 mining, that means we saved ourselves some lost opportunities. This is going to be an interesting process of going through all the different quests, figuring out whether or not you can start them without the levels that they require to finish them. There's a lot of differences in the quests, since they were made by so many different people over so much time. You can have items that you can't get until you start the quests, items that unlock in specific steps of the quests, items you can get before it, quests you can start without the requirements, quests that have hard requirements, quests that kind of require other quests but don't really. It is a whole thing. Makes my life more difficult. And that's okay. I did some AFK sand crabs while I worked on getting all this quest information put together. But now we have a good list of quests that we can start right now. So let's get to it. Oh, here's our stats. 64 attack and strength. Combat 75 now. So that's pretty good. There's only 3 real item requirements for a porcine of interest. First of which is a rope to go down the strange hole. We don't have a rope, so we're done here. Made it a bit into Priest in Peril. We can come up here and talk to Dressel. But we have his problems to deal with. First among those is getting the key, which, in this case, requires getting 2 keys. Golden key. We can't have it yet. We can start Rag and Bone Man 1. Not that that's a very high priority. But there's a few different things in here that we could get. A variety of letters, I suppose. I'm going to count the bones in the vinegar, and the polished bones as all separate items. So it's going to be an entire process here. No surprise there. Another hole that needs a rope to go down. A Soul's Bane. If I'm reading this correctly, we should only need the rope and our single choice of anger weapon to complete this entire quest. So rope is quickly moving up my list of things to get. Very useful item. Gertrude's cat wants a bucket of milk, and we don't have one. So this cat is going to be thirsty for a long time. Unfortunate. Another NPC that's going to be thirsty for a while. Harold wants an Asgardian ale. I tell him that I'll go and get you one, but it could take a while. It's going to take a while. He manages to lose the combination to the door. I managed to lose his beer for weeks on end. These are the struggles that we face. This counts as a boss fight, right? We don't have protection prayers, but our salmon and our 60s combat stats have carried the day against Koshi the Deathless. Except for the final phase, which we're not even going to try with. Luckily, you only need to defeat the first 3. And that is, well, once we are knocked unconscious here, that'll be 2 out of the 7 parts of the Fremnik Trials completed. The Fremnik Trials is one of the weirdest quests as far as requirements are concerned. You can march your way up here, straight off Tutorial Island, and declare you want to become a Fremnik. Now, will you be able to defeat Koshi and the Dragon at level 3? Maybe. Weirder things have happened. But you can also skip all of the level requirements for making a liar by killing another reluctant citizen over and over again to just get it as a drop. It's an odd one. And it also has a ton of items in the puzzle house and the one small favor equivalent sections. So this is going to be a long quest to complete. There's one interesting thing going on in the puzzle house section that we will discuss once we get there. But for the most part, this is just a quest with a whole bunch of items, but we can finish 2 parts of it with nothing at all. The other part is we probably said the maze. The maze and the fight, those are the ones you don't need anything. Easy as. A slightly less impressive boss here in Merlin's Crystal. We learn all the different bits we need for finishing this quest. The magic words, the Excalibur, and most of those require more items. I suppose we can go pick up the words, but aside from that, we're pretty much done here. The more quests we start, the more it feels like we are leaving everybody out to dry for what is potentially going to be months. Larissa here wants me to go fix that bridge over there so she can leave, but we're not going to do that because we don't have steel nails yet. We also can't open the door. So, this is one conversation and done. with Horror from the Deep. Mountain Daughter requires a rope before you can even start the quest. So, as much as we are fully prepared to begin doing this whole thing, because there's no requirements, we literally can't even get there yet because we don't have a rope. Just another instance where playing the game normally, this would not be a problem. Oh well. Murder Mystery is going to be one of the quests that we try to cheese a little bit. When we look into this smashed window over here, we're going to find a thread. And that should narrow down who we need to investigate as far as picking up their silver items and doing that whole process. We also might be able to just skip forward to the who used the poison on the things. That would narrow it down to just the one person we're looking for. So with any luck, we won't need to pick up the huge pile of different silver items and check all of them with the flypaper, getting all the different prints. If that works, that is going to save us a lot of slots. Clock Tower. Pretty simple quest. We can go pick up half of the cogs right now and only require a bucket of water and rat poison for the other two. Not a very consequential quest, but that's why we can start it with no requirements. So that's fair. Here's the child's blanket, which is all we need to finish Monk's Friend, because we already have the other items required. But I'm not taking it, because I'm weird. That's the challenge. Nope. Not yet. Here we are, in the spooky evil lair in Hazel Cult. We're going to be going for the good, in quotation marks, ending of this quest. Mostly because it uses less items. Literally only the one. We go over there, beat up this guy, take the carnelian armor, and then we can finish the quest. So that is two things that start with C that could complete a quest for us. Interesting to think about. We need to get dwell berries for the very first part here in Plague City. Ultimately, getting to the Ardoin teleport at the end of this quest is going to take a bit. There was a bit more we could do in the Tree Gnome Village quest. Fire the ballista. Now we can go in there and grab the Orb of Protection. If we were on O. And that's what we wanted to unlock. Yep. I got teleported to the box in Tribal Totem. Next step is to take the address label. Again, we're not doing that because of this whole thing we're doing. With that, I think that's all of the quests that we can start right now. There's a few others that we could technically start, but they give us items, so we can't. We got Client of Korend, gives you an enchantment scroll, or enchanted scroll, something like that. Starts with an E, at any rate. It's a thing you get just for starting the quest. Dwarf Cannons starts you off by giving you some railings. The Grand Tree gives you a bark sample and a translation book. So that's a double whammy there. sheep herder gives you the sheep feed. Aside from that, we are good to go. Take a nice scroll through our quests. We have started a lot of quests. I'm sure there's other ones we could technically start. But honestly, this is enough to deal with for the time being. So now we can get back to unlocking items. To the Grand Exchange. Where were we? Last item that we unlocked before starting all those quests was the Mark of Grace. So that means we are at N. We are going to go with Nature Runes. By 1. That can be a decent way of training magic once we unlock something good to alch. I don't think anything in here would particularly fit that bill. So, that is a thing to worry about for later. For our O item, we already have everything we need. We're making an orange goblin mail. We could go just turn this into the goblin diplomacy quest right now. But we'll probably do that later. That means we just need to get the blue goblin mail. And I think that quest will be done. We have the technology. We can check immediately. Goblin diplomacy. Orange goblin mail. Check. Okay, we need the blue goblin mail. And then the end of the quest gives us a gold bar. So, if we don't want to accidentally get that and have it locked in when we don't want to, we will consider when we finish that quest. And that's a bigger problem with quests that finish with multiple items at the same time. But that's a problem for later. We're going to continue on with our next item. Starting with the letter P. It is Pure Essence. That is incredibly cheap, my goodness. I think I'm going to do a little bit of rune crafting. Let me just get this essence to start with. It's 3 coins, huh? That's fine. How much is an air rune? 5. I guess that's a profit. We've got an air talisman. We've got pure essence. We've got air runes. That sounds like rune crafting to me. So I'm going to... Where's our closest level? Like 20-ish. 16. I think it gives 5 XP. Yeah, maybe like a 1,000 essence. Probably guess like level 20. Why not? Pure essence. Let's get the rest for the 1,000. Save us some money on purchasing more air runes in the future. And get us a couple total levels. Overall, a win-win. So let us pop on over to Falador and do some rune crafting. Would it be quicker to do other rune crafting methods? Yes. Well, no. We don't have other methods available. I mean, technically we could go to ZMI, but having to walk back and forth and all that. So I think we will manage just fine crafting some air runes. See you when I'm done with this. There is level 20 rune crafting. We were pretty close to having perfect amount of pure essence there for that. So that works. A nice even number to leave it on for now. And for future work with rune crafting, I'm not exactly sure what we're going to do. Probably not air runes to whatever maximum rune crafting level is required. Maybe we'll get 3 more levels and try to do lava runes. Try to figure out what all we need for that. ZMI could be an issue, because we'd have to decide whether or not that has to unlock all those different runes, or if we can just drop them. Whatever we decide for things that we don't own and have to get rid of, they absolutely can't go in the bank. And that's also going to be an issue with like pickpocketing various things. But we will get to that when we get to that. First up, though, we have to continue with the letters. The next letter would be Q, but we can't unlock anything starting with Q. We can't unlock Quicklime, the Queen's Secateurs, or the Quest Point Cape and Hood. We already unlocked the Queen Help book last time, and there's nothing else that starts with Q. So that's going to continue to be a theme most of the time. Quicklime and the Queen's Secateurs are going to presumably happen eventually. Quest Point Cape is miles in the future. So we're going to continue on with R. That's why we're here, to get raw beef. Not cowhide, though. Just the raw beef. This is the second piece of raw food, which we need for Druidic Ritual. And following the pattern, we start with raw chicken. Next time, we're going to be getting this enchanted, and then getting another piece of raw meat, and then enchanting that, then getting the fourth, and then enchanting that, and then we'll have Herblore unlocked. Do we need Herblore unlocked immediately? Probably not. Probably not. But it's better to get it out of the way. I still have a lot of questions about how we're going to be doing things like Hunter. And, to a lesser extent, fishing and cooking. Just crafting. Yeah. There's plans in the works, but overall it's pretty complicated. We ran over here to buy a shanty pass. That is our S item. That is going to be very useful very soon. I can put these at the end of this by just dragging them up to this one. So there we go. So that's 2 items that we're missing from this set. So that's going to be 24 now, which is unfortunate. Shanty's Pass isn't technically required to get into the desert. There are other options, but realistically, that's just a very standard way of getting things done. Don't have to mess around with something like buying myself a Pharaoh's Scepter or having a constant flow of Narda teleport scrolls or waiting until I get fairy rings. Just being able to enter the desert sooner rather than later is beneficial for me. So that's what we're going to do. And now, starting with the letter T and unlocking a skilling method, it's tin ore. So once we get a pickaxe, we have the ability to mine things, starting at level 1. It's not actually as useful as some other ores, but I've got other plans for other letters, so at least having something to start with if we need to work towards a mining requirement. At least we got it under control now. Just need a pickaxe, though. For you, it's going to be a little bit of money. technically counts as a quest unlock. It's the Uncut Sapphire. Now, it's not particularly useful for us right now, since it's the Uncut Sapphire and we haven't unlocked the Sapphire. So we can't cut it for crafting XP, even if we had the crafting level. But for future use and for a little bit of picking stuff off the ground money, because we found a few sapphires in our time, that'll be useful. And with that, we've made it to V. Similar to last time, we are going to get a piece of Void Knight gear from Pest Control. Dissimilar to last time, we're going to be actually capable of helping our team. We're level 75, so that means we get to go to the medium boat. Or intermediate. Yeah, intermediate. And instead of using our fire battle staff and barely making it through, we've got a dragon sword. Our gear is still nothing special, but it's better than it was before. So that is the plan. With any luck, we'll be able to win every game, depending on other people, and the whole not having the doors open, killing the spinners. But we'll actually be able to help kill the spinners and such things. Of course, we're not at maximum performance you would expect from a level 75. We don't have an amulet, or gloves, or most things. We're rocking the Khazard helmet and a ham cloak, so we're not going to be the best teammate, but we're going to be better than we were last time. So let's get... I'm thinking the Void Knight robe bottoms. We could get the gloves to fill the glove slot, but they're not that good. So we're just going to get the robe bottoms. Might as well. The dragon sword performed very well. 250 points. Void Knight robe legs. Very cool. Let's compare the stats with our other leg options, which is Yakhide. Yakhide and Zamorak. So. Only 30. So, decent, like, far superior magic defense at the cost of the melee and range defense. And the Yakhide is worse in all regards. But we just have it for the range accuracy, so. Melee, we would still rock the Zamorak plate legs. I mean, unless we're going to be getting into a fight where we need magic defense, then we'd rock this for 75, which is very good. Neither of these give negative magic defense, so that's at least something. Good to have options, and to work towards having full void. Because that's going to be pretty good for, well, at least magic, well, not magic, well, range of melee, I guess. Just good to have at any rate. Also, we made 46,000 coins. So that's pretty good. That's another benefit of coming here, getting void. A little bit of cash. Nice and easy. Let us pop on over to Varrock. And I think we can pretty much wrap this up. Coming after V, it's W. And this is going to be an overall useful item for various activities. Quests, money making, everything you could hope for. We already got water runes. So next we're going to get something else made of water. It's water skins. I think this is our first item that has charges. So we're pretty much going to just say water skin 4, water skin 3, 2, 1, and empty. That's all the same item. Similar to like if we bought a games necklace, those are all the same items. If it has a different name or it does something different, we can consider that a different item. But overall, water skins, pretty necessary for going to the desert. As much as we could just slap a whole bunch of salmon into our mouths every time the desert hits us, it's really not too viable. And we're going to be spending a decent amount of time in the desert, so we're going to want these. Things that start with X, there's not too many options. So we're just going to get another piece of Xerxian robes. We already got the top last time, so we're just going to grab the robe bottom. A little bit of extra magic accuracy. Specifically, an extra 8 magic accuracy. Not the worst. We're pretty much just getting things that start with X. There's not too many. It's going to be one that runs out sooner than some of the other letters, but it's pretty good. 2 pieces of that, plus our fire staff. Not a bad mage outfit, all things considered. Next up, starting with Y, we're not going to get the yak hide armor, because that's not actually range armor for some reason. The yak hide legs give more range accuracy than green d-hide chaps, but the yak hide top has none. So it's a weird outfit, all things considered. So instead of that, we're going to get an item for a quest. Yellow bead. Not too pricey, he says, and then it doesn't buy. Not with that many L's. Yellow bead. 1/4 of the way done with Imp Catcher. Oh boy. And then finishing things up, starting with the letter Z, bring in another piece of Zamorak armor. I'll probably have to look through and see if there's other things that start with Z that we might want. But for the most part, we're pretty much good to go with getting the Zamorak rune armor and the Zamorak d-hide armor. So we're doing more melee currently, so I'm going to get the Zamorak kite shield. A lot more expensive than a rune kite shield, unfortunately. These guide prices, though. But we literally don't have a shield yet, so a pretty good place to start. Oh no. I mean, we're going to be getting a money-making method soon anyway, so I'm not too concerned. Spending a little bit more on Zamorak kite shields. But if I could get one, that'd be great. Oh no. We might be leaving this offer in there for a little bit. That's not ideal. Anything else I want? Helmet? Not really. D-hide? Not quite to that level yet. Don't really need the plate body right now. Yeah, I just kind of want the Zamorak kite shield. Could we go higher than that? How much could it possibly be? I'll give you 100k for a Zamorak kite shield. Oh man. Wow, okay. Alright, we're going to leave that offer in, I suppose. We've got money. We could up it to 200k, but that's still a lot. I think I will hold that in there for a little bit. Hopefully that sells. There we go. Zamorak Kite Shield. Probably could have put in a lower offer for that, but oh well. That is our first shield slot item. So let's check out the stats. Very good. That's basically, well, besides the magic defense, it's a whole extra Void Knight top for us. So here's our new melee gear. Not bad in the defenses. And even plus 40 magic defense. Mostly for the Void Knight top. It would be better with the Zami plate body. But that's not our main concern. This will be good enough for most of our uses. Right, so let's check out what we can do with magic and ranged. For ranged, it's not much. Any of these give negative range? Nope. So the helm and the cape are good for everything. Very defensive, at least, in our ranged outfit. And we can also switch to the kite shield if we need even more defense. But honestly, anything we're going to fight with iron knives, we probably don't need to worry too much about defense. So that's probably fine. In the magic department, we've got plus 30 magic accuracy. That's dropped down quite a bit with the shield, but the defenses also go up a ton. Another option would be Void. Brings us down to 10 accuracy with substantial defenses. Very interesting. Drop that on here. Yellow bead. Zamikite. So that is 24 items from this round. Can't bank coin pouches. Nothing starts with Q. And that's it. Managed to unlock rune crafting, thieving, marks of grace, so fully unlocked agility for the most part. Wood cutting was unlocked. Did a little bit of fire making. Overall, decent progress. And then we went and started, gosh, how many quests? A lot of quests. Almost all the free-to-play quests. Let's get the actual number here. Why not? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. We started 3 dozen quests. Oh no. Oh boy. So yeah, those are things that happened. My goodness. 542 total level. The bank says it's 2.4 mil, but realistically, it's actually 424k. So ultimately, we ended up not really making much monetary progress today. But a lot of that value went down because we overpaid so much for the Zamorak Kite Shield, but that's neither here nor there. We made progress in a few of those 3 dozen quests. And now we're ready to continue to the next round. Next time. Goodbye.